I'm Dr. Orion Taraban, and this is Psych Hacks, Better Living Through Psychology. And the topic of today's short talk is the two-body problem. Now, this episode will be a continuation of my previous episode entitled Women Have More Options in the Sexual Marketplace, which is in turn a continuation of an even earlier episode entitled What is the Sexual Marketplace? So be sure to start with these before listening to this talk. In the Women Have More Options in the Sexual Marketplace episode, I argued that women now have two good options down at the dock. They can either enlist as a passenger or they can build their own ships, whereas men only still have one. They need to build the boat. I ended that episode by alluding to the fact that this new optionality for women both solves some problems and creates new ones. This episode will be about one of the biggest of these newly created problems. It's called the two-body problem. Now, before I explain what this is, please remember to like this video and subscribe to this channel. It takes less than a second, it costs you nothing, and it's how you can support me in my mission to deliver free, high-quality content to the world. So thank you for your help. Now, what is the two-body problem? The two-body problem is the name given to a type of relationship problem that is not uncommon in graduate programs. Let's say you're foolish enough to try to earn a PhD. Because it's such an intense and isolating experience, if you're single going into the program, it's often the case that you'll end up entering into a relationship with another grad student in your program. Happens all the time. Now, after many years of sacrifice and struggle, let's assume the two individuals succeed in graduating with their doctorates and are now entering the job market for academic positions. Given the scarcity of supply relative to demand and the insane competitiveness for what supply does exist, what do you think the odds are of both of these lovebirds receiving appointments at the same university? Functionally zero. Hell, their offers might not even be within 1,000 miles of each other. So why is this a problem? Because it forces the individuals in question to choose between their careers and their relationship. And what's the likelihood that either one of them is going to walk away from an opportunity they devoted the last 10 years of their lives to creating? This isn't walking away from a job. It's walking away from a decade of deferred gratification bought with blood, sweat, and tears. Do you see? In this case, neither one is likely to be willing to walk away for the other when she worked just as hard as he did, and vice versa. So what does this have to do with the sexual marketplace? Do you know how long it takes to become a good captain? To build a boat, learn to sail, and plot a course? It can take decades. The more time you invest in the process of becoming a captain, the less likely you will ever be to abandon that process for another person's preference. That's just the way it is. And this means that if a woman chooses to be her own captain, if she parks her ship at the dock like all the other captains, she'll be competing for the attention of the male passengers, not the male captains. The men who have devoted decades of their lives to building their own boats will never walk away from their vessels to be the passenger on a woman's boat just because she learned how to sail. The female captains will therefore need to content themselves with attracting the attention of men who, for whatever reason, didn't succeed in becoming captains themselves. Their preferences may not be among their available options. And this is why a lot of successful women today complain that there's just no good men out there. Yeah, the captains are presumably just as interested in getting on their ship as the successful women are interested in getting on theirs. The two-body problem. And the proposed solutions to this problem are always some weird compromise, like, well, why don't the captains take turns piloting the same ship? Or why don't they just sail in their own ships separately to the same destination? Neither of which you ever see implemented in any kind of paid enterprise because they are inefficient and ineffective. They also serve to make the captains slightly less captainy, which is not really why a person goes through the trouble of becoming one. So here's the two-body problem created by women's increased optionality in the sexual marketplace. When the rubber meets the road, who is going to give up their command? The more you invest in your captainship, the harder it becomes to walk away. What do you think? Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe for the algorithm, and see the About tab for more information on donations, consultations, and sponsorship opportunities. Thanks for listening.